Katy Perry was once Russell Brand's wife, but has she known his secrets all along? Well, welcome to Beyond the Screen. I'm Nate, and these are the top 10 dark secrets Katy Perry is hiding about Russell Brand. Number 10, she knew already. While all of the controversy surrounding Russell has come to light this year, it seems that Katy Perry may have known exactly who Russell was very early on in their relationship. An interview with Vogue magazine from 2013 has been making rounds online. During the interview, Katy reflects on her brief marriage to Russell, claiming that she felt responsible for the dissolution of their union until she found out the real truth. When they first met, Russell wanted to find an equal, but once he got that equal, he could no longer handle the equalness. She went on to say that he became very controlling as time went on, and while at first she felt responsible for the split, she discovered the truth eventually. The truth was something that she, quote, can't necessarily disclose because she keeps it locked in a safe for a rainy day. It sounds like Katy not only knew of the misconduct back in 2013, but she actively kept that information to herself. Had she just come forward, this entire situation could have been addressed a long time ago, but the victims were only willing to share their experiences after being hounded by reporters. Whether she planned on revealing the information at a later date or not, she denied the people that Russell hurt a chance to speak up as soon as possible. Number 9, tried to have a baby. Katy admitted that while she was married to Russell Brand, that the topic of starting a family was a regular conversation. For Katy, it was pretty simple. She did not want to start a family with someone who she was pretty confident would use that family as an excuse to control her, but Russell is, a wholesome family man who's just ready to settle down, right? Katy admitted during an interview with Marie Claire that she was scared of Russell trying to make her a stay-at-home mom. When these two were a couple, Russell had some popularity in films and TV, but Katy Perry was, Katy Perry. She kissed a girl and she liked it. She was hot and cold, and she blew up like a firework. Make 'em go! I'm sorry, I gotta get that out of my system. I just got a little carried away sometimes. As the relationship went on, the conversation stayed the same. Not ready till she knows he's gonna be a good dad and let her do her thing. Well, that was certainly not the case, and Katy believes that her unwillingness to bear a child is one of the main causes of Russell's decision. Whether that's true or not, Katy clearly made the smartest decision of her life when she said no to this man. Clearly a word that he was used to hearing, but he's known to ignore it. Oh, that guy sucks. Number 8, she was almost a victim. The allegations being brought against Russell claim that he is known for being aggressive, handsy, and just an overall nightmare of a human being. It's not even close to the right word, but it's the only one I can use. The general consensus is that this man is not good at first impressions. Most of the accounts being brought forward claim Russell to have been a tyrant since the moment they've met, with each allegation worse than the last. Katy's first interaction with Brand was filming a scene for the 2009 comedy Get Him to the Greek, a spin-off of Forgetting Sarah Marshall, featuring his character Aldous Snow, the musician, and Jonah Hill as like a record label employee. Katy made a cameo appearance in a scene that was ultimately cut from the final project, and the scene saw Katy and Russell's characters just locking lips during the opening montage of his downfall. Katy told Glamour back in 2010 that at the time she was stoked to film the scene, but it was their second meeting that really should have been Katy's first warning sign. They rediscovered each other when Russell took the stage at the MTV Video Music Awards in 2009. Katy flung a bottle at him and he caught it, but after the show, he was furious. When Katy Perry approached him, he claimed that she was fiery and that she caught his attention. Katy went on to describe the interaction and what Russell attempted to do that very same night. Katy admitted that Russell attempted to force himself on her, but she was successfully able to steer clear of him. Russell was furious, but he listened to what she said and he apparently walked away. 4 months later, they were engaged. Katy may not have understood what was happening at the time, but considering the horror stories coming out about Russell, she may have saved herself from becoming just another one of his victims. Number 7, the text. Breaking up with someone over text is a stupid thing to do. That is one thing that many of us learn as we grow up. Face-to-face needs to happen when it's something serious like a breakup or personal issues. While most people learn that by the time they're in their, mid-20s, Russell is in his 40s and still doesn't seem to get the memo. Katy released a documentary concert called Katy Perry, Part of Me, containing a clip that really should have stalled Russell's career the moment that it came to air, but oh well. The clip shows Katy lying down in a makeup chair sobbing, being told that she can either call it quits or continue the show. She had just received a text from Russell essentially asking her for a divorce. After a moment she stands and she's good to go, but during an interview in 2013 with Vogue, Katy told the outlet that she could not divulge the specific message that was sent. But to put it into perspective, she had not heard from him for 2 years following the cryptic text. We have to wonder what words he used and why he decided that a text was the best best way to deliver this news. Literally makes no sense at all. Just none at all. Russel sucks. Number 6. Marriage went cold quick. Marriages do not have an exact timeline. Some last for 50 years, some for 50 days. For Katy and Russel, their marriage was cut short after only 14 months together. As previously mentioned, Russel was really the one who decided to call it quits, basically out of the blue. In the years since the divorce, Katy just maintains that Russel was slowly losing interest in her as a partner. According to Katy, Russel was jealous of her fame and would even attempt to berate her into thinking that he was the superior one in the relationship. When he decided to call it quits, she blamed herself at first, but soon discovered a secret truth about Russel that she keeps in her back pocket. The brief marriage is already a red flag in and of itself, but the timeline is just all over the place. Russel is known to be a chaotic man in general, sharing some pretty ridiculous views on politics, religion, everything. But during his time with Katy, that attitude never went away. According to her, he was constantly cornering her to spout his views, and he just would not let her go until she just kind of nodded and agreed. Now, it's not just Katy who has noticed Russel being an absolutely dreadful person. So for the rest of this list, let's talk about some general red flags that we've noticed over the years. Number 5, Aldous Snow. Aldous Snow is a character that Russel played first in the film Forgetting Sarah Marshall and then reprising the role in a spin-off called Get Him to the Greek alongside Jonah Hill. The worst thing about this character is just how easy it is for Russel to get into him. While doing press for the Greek, Russel was compared to his on-screen counterpart all of the time. This dude was always on no-no juice, partying hard. He was just basically Russel but on screen. But he would constantly deny any relations. In fact, during an interview with MTV, he told Laramie Legal that he was much more cool and mellow and slower, and not as silly as some of you may think. We all know that's not true. Jonah Hill has gone on record saying that filming with Russel was super difficult. While they were both dedicated to the craft, Jonah just took the project a bit more seriously than Russel did. Aldous Snow was set to be a regular character on the big screen, but following the release of his film Arthur, Russell's acting career as a leading man was basically just gone. Number 4, he was banned by the King. The comedian turned actor may be best known for Aldous Snow, but for Aldous Snow, or maybe his musical chops with the real fake band Infant Sorrow, but what many may not know is just how much this dude hates the royal family. Who am I kidding? It's obvious, just look at him. He took to YouTube to express his opinions and declared that it was ridiculous to have a queen and having to be forced to call her things like Your Majesty. What's with Russell? He's such a jerk. He dug his hole even deeper when in his book Revelation, he criticized the queen for her German heritage, calling her a word that I'm not allowed to say online and don't Google it. Needless to say, this was a perfectly logical reason to ban Brand from entering the palace gates ever again in his life. He's actually one of the few celebrities in the entire world to receive this honor, so it really should have been the first big red flag when it came to this guy. Number 3, his rants. If there is one thing that Russel is well known for, it's his political and religious rants, which are usually pushed on people with, without their knowledge or permission. By that I mean you probably already paid good money to see this man live expecting a comedic performance, but you were instead met with some pretty messed up ideas about religion and just kind of the world in general. During one special on Netflix, Russel compared himself to Jesus a few times and gave several long-winded examples that I don't really want to repeat because you know. This man has some truly dark beliefs. If you're curious what they are, just wait a year or two for the crime documentary to come out. Russel Brand, a special brand of evil. Man, that's a good title. I am smart. Number 2, stand-up. His rants are not just limited to the paying stage. This man is known around the world as a fairly mid-comedian. Now, nowadays he's probably known as the creepy guy from Bedtime Stories, but if you've had the misfortune of popping into an open mic or maybe even onto the streets of England, there's a good chance that you've been forced to listen to Russel Brand's stand-up. His comedy is crude, he veers into rants and statements more often than telling jokes, and at the end of the day, people feel like they just witnessed an underwhelming TED Talk about Lord knows what. Now, I've personally only seen like 1 or 2 of this dude's stand-up specials, and I can say with confidence, he is not okay. He's really not. Number 1, and at number 1, Channel 4, BBC. BBC Channel 4 News has been a staple in the world of British television for years, and by staple, I mean it's responsible for some of the worst celebrity interviews you've ever watched, but we've talked about that in a different list. Channel 4 is on this list because they have all of the secrets just wrapped up into a little bow. Not only did the outlet literally help launch this dude's career, but they they have recently been at the forefront of the media storm thanks to a little documentary centered around Russel that clearly outs him as a vile and disgusting man. He has treated so many people so terribly over the years, with justice finally being served and the proof clearly being in the pudding. We'll keep you guys updated on the situation as it comes up, and if you've seen the documentary, please share your thoughts. Those are the dark secrets that both Katy Perry and the entire world are hiding about Russel Brand. How much do you dislike this man? Well, let us know in the comments below. As always, thanks for stopping beyond the screen today, and we'll see you next time.